The Arizona School Personnel Administrators Association recently released its annual teacher survey, and it shows, yet again, a teacher shortage in the state. Here to talk about the survey results is Justin Wing, Assistant Superintendent of Human Resources at ASPA. Good to see you. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Yeah, this is a new report. It's an annual teacher survey. Before we get too deeply into here, how was the survey conducted?
Certainly, a survey goes out to all school districts and charter schools in Arizona, to the Human Resources Department, those that do the hiring of teachers, and we gain that data from them.
Okay, teacher shortage, how many years now has this survey shown a teacher shortage?
We began doing this shortly after the recession years, so about 2015, and I hate to say it, but the data kind of has been stagnant, and that's not a good thing.
Right, by 9 straight years. So 25% of teacher vacancies remain unfilled. 9 straight years of teacher shortages. What's going on out there?
Unfortunately, individuals do not want to become teachers.
What are you hearing? Why? What are the reasoning?
I think the opportunities for high school graduates are plenty, and grateful for that. And I've shared before that for 13 years as a student, you're interviewing the school environment and the workload and the working condition of a teacher, and you're not seeing that as appealing as it maybe once was, and so you're choosing a different avenue for a career.
And we got 52% of vacancies are filled by those with no Arizona certification. Talk to us about that.
In 2017, Arizona legislation did open the door on a lot of alternative pathways. I do see that as a positive. I don't know where we would be without that alternative pathway. It removed barriers for individuals who may have always wanted in their heart to become a teacher, but pursued a different college degree or career, and now it breaks barriers for them to be able to change their career. That's for the most part, or good examples of it.
Okay, but does that, I know we've had people on the show here criticizing that, saying these people aren't necessarily qualified to run a classroom. Do they have a point?
I think everybody brings in their own leadership and their own experiences, and we do see positives from those individuals. While they get support on the pedagogy side, they do bring in the real life application and experiences that can be engaging to students in their learning. So
would you like to see that expanded then, to get more of these folks in there?
I think what our data has showed, particularly from 2020, a couple of years after implementation of the 2017 opening of the doors, we've seen that increase, and now be about 50% of our vacancies being filled by alternative pathways. So I think we're pretty good on there. There's other opportunities maybe to address the teacher shortage.
Well, let's talk about those other opportunities. How do you address recruitment? How do you get people interested? How do you get them started on this career?
One pathway we just mentioned, that's the alternative pathways, and there's different versions of that or different paths. So the recruiting of the alternative pathways is one of them. Pretty unfortunate, the state legislation this year chose not to fund the Arizona Teacher Academy grant. That was put in place by the former governor, at least led by that, and in which provided some scholarships and grant opportunities for individuals, whether they're high school graduate or just change a career or whatnot, to get a teaching degree with little to no student debt. And that has helped keep a status quo versus getting worse.
Yeah, but it sounds like it didn't get quite the funding there, so it could possibly even get worse.
It needs to be renewed.
Yeah. As far as salaries, just in general, how does Arizona compare to neighboring states?
I think I argue with individuals a little bit. We're either 48th or 51st or 47th, whatever report you choose to read. Ultimately, we're in the bottom 5, no matter what report.
Why hasn't that changed? We've seen so much money put into education over the years. Red for Ed, we had mass movements and marches and the whole thing. Why are we still up in the upper 40s, if not 50?
Well, when you dig a big hole, it's hard to get out of it. And so we made a lot of progress as the state of Arizona, but we still are in that hole.
Yeah, as far as retaining teachers now, we talked about recruiting teachers. How do you retain what you got?
That's a struggle. When you have 25% of your teacher vacancies remain unfilled, unfortunately, as the report shows, some of that goes back on existing staff, administration, teachers, support staff, and that's a working condition as well.
Right. I would imagine teaching more classes, teaching bigger classes, that sort of thing.
Top 5 in highest class sizes in the nation, and now you get more kids on top of that. You're whatever's higher than high.
What kind of impact have vouchers, the ESA program, what kind of impact has that had? Got more kids in private schools right now. Does that affecting what you're seeing?
I mean, to the point, I believe some studies have shared that 75% of the ESA funds are going to families who never attended public school.
Yes.
And so that's funding that could be afforded to public education.
Yeah. Last question, real quickly. What can realistically be done about this?
I think we need, as a state, both local, school-wide, locally, and as a state, we need to look at innovative ways to look at how our workforce design is. We are still in that, we're still stuck in the one teacher, one classroom model. And I believe our new workforce generations, like collaboration, working with adults and colleagues, we need to really look at our overall workforce design model in schools. I think that Arizona Teacher Academy grant, we went backwards when we were making good progress. We need to invest in individuals to become teachers. It was astounding how many first generation individuals and families graduated with this. So
Yes.
Not only was it special to get first generation graduates, but also increasing the pipeline of teachers.
All right, we got to stop you right there. Justin, thank you so much for joining.